60 Seconds with a 66er. My name is Ian Bramlett, and I'm here with 66ers third baseman Austin Gallagher, Los Angeles Dodgers prospect. If you guys never heard about him, how's it going?
Good. How you doing, man?
We're good. Just got a few brief questions for you. First of all, big 66er news. The starting catcher, Carlos Santana, the run-producing catalyst, traded to the Indians, leaving a pretty good vacuum on the team because it's not like the 66ers get anything back for that exchange. How do you and the rest of your teammates think you'll pick up the slack now that he's gone?
Well, obviously it puts a lot more pressure on us, but for the most part of the year we sort of turned it up after the All-Star break and been hitting really well, but it just sort of moves everybody into a tougher position and more opportunities, of course, in the middle of the lineup. And our manager John Valentin came up to us and told us we need to step up a little bit more and try to fill his void, and so far it's been so good.
Yeah.
But it's tough losing a player like that all around.
He was such an on-base presence, and with you hitting behind him, then we were scoring many runs. Is there anyone on the team in particular you think that can start getting on base to a little bit more than they were necessarily in the past?
Well,
or not that they can, but they're going to.
Yeah, well, recently it's myself, Drew Lock, Tommy Giles, everybody's really now forced into the middle lineup has really turned their game up, and I know Drew's average went up like 20 points, Tommy Giles has been performing real well, and everyone else from that position's been building on from that. And it also helps too, our top two guys in the order, leadoff and number 2 hole hitter, have been getting on, and they've been working harder to do that. So it makes our job a little easier and not have to do as much ourselves. When you got runners on base already, you don't have to do anything spectacular. You just go up there and have the same approach.
Okay. Well, one thing that you've been doing really well this season is you've been hitting doubles by the boatloads. You haven't even been here the whole season, and yet you already have over 30. Is it 31, 32?
I'm not sure.
It's in the 30s. Yeah. So I actually crunched the numbers, and you're averaging a double every 8 at-bats versus the major league leader, Brian Roberts, who has about 40 doubles, is averaging a double every 10 at-bats. So, I mean, you're going against a little bit less difficult of pitching, but still, those are good numbers. What are some of your tips to success to crushing a meatball into the gap for extra bases?
Well, the biggest thing here is patience, because the pitchers, especially at this level compared to where I played last year, can control not only their fastball but their off-speed stuff a little bit more. So instead of, you still have to have that aggression, but at the same time you also have to wait, and if you get a pitch in your count that you're able to drive, you have to take advantage of that, and you can't miss it because they can control their pitches a lot better. So it's also putting a good swing on the ball, but most importantly is getting a good pitch that you can handle and you can drive, and not chasing after their stuff since they can pinpoint it.
All right. Well, you're only 19 years old, which makes you younger than me, even though I look like I'm 12, and pretty much everyone on your team, and let alone pretty much everyone in the Cal League. What are some of your thoughts on competing with a group of people that are, for the most part, years older than you?
Well, I mean, I've been doing that since I've been young, but the first couple weeks was kind of a struggle, and just getting used to not only the age but just the whole speed of the game, and not trying to do too much. I came in here, and being as old as I was, I tried to be like, I want to show everybody what I can do and prove myself here, blah 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 blah, and was putting too much pressure on myself, and that kind of makes it difficult to really relax and do your job and focus on the task at hand instead of trying to do too much. So it really kind of took deep breath and just been working with our coaches John Valentin and Henry Cruz, and just sort of settled down and found a rhythm and just felt confident and comfortable and just really worked into it. And it's not much of a factor anymore. I feel playing with them as peers now instead of older than me.
Yeah, it feels like it definitely shows that you're comfortable in the league, and you feel like you're a pretty essential part to the team. It shows. Whether or not you knew this, there's a bunch of scouts out there that are fairly enamored with your budding potential. Talk to me about the trials and tribulations of improving your stock as a prospect in the eyes of front office types, not just amongst the Dodgers, who you ultimately were hoping you'll get to come up through, but even just the rest of the league, because as we've seen, prospects get dealt and exchanged like no other in this game of ours.
Well, I'd say two things. My strength and my weakness. I'd say my strength is obviously my hitting, and I feel that I can, increase and grow mightily there, just, naturally, just because of my size and everything. But in the same token, I think my biggest weakness is just my agility and quickness over at third base, and that's really what I want to prove to them. I want to prove to them that I can play third base or I can play an athletic first base, and that's the biggest thing that I really want to prove them, is that not necessarily, me being 6'5", I'm not going to steal like 40 bases, but just being able to show that I have, have good agility and working on my footwork and my, fielding the ball and just being able to play a good third base. And if they so happen to move me to first base, then that's fine, I'll still work at that. But in my eyes, I feel like I want to stay over at third base as long as possible, but I know in the long run I'll probably end up being a first baseman. But I think that, being more versatile and being able to play more positions makes you more, more valuable to an organization.
You can help out the team in more ways if you can contribute in more than just one fashion. So what are some of the measures that you've been taking in order to improve your agility and overall speed?
Well, really working with John Valentine. I mean, he played shortstop in the big leagues for numerous years and numerous teams, and that's really who I look forward to and see what his habits are, and just kind of picking his brain every day and just listening to what he has to say, because he's been there. He's been there when he was young. He's been there when he was older, and he knows how to take care of his body and do do the right things as far as fundamentals and work ethic and practice and all that stuff. And just learning from him and just trying to figure out, techniques and just little things that he picked up in the big leagues has really helped me out a lot. And just also playing every day too, and just learning how to grow from that instead of, sort of stay where you're at because your body's getting worn down and everything, but just a constant incline in the way that you work and the way that you get better every day.
We've already kind of touched on it. Prior to the season, you weren't really a third baseman, so this is a new experience for you, and you've grown lots with the experience of a defensive whiz kid like John Valentine, being over your shoulder, giving you all the advice. What are some of the most difficult aspects of adjusting to the hot corner that you've noticed so far?
Well, it would definitely be the speed of the ball. I mean, just coming out of high school, nobody's hitting them that hard, consistently. So really, the speed of the ball that it gets on you is one of the things I've covered earlier. It's just being, quickness and just sort of a defensive presence out there, and just having a plan on every ball that's hit, and just technique, and just like I said earlier, new tips and things that he picked up throughout the big leagues. And it helped me really kind of settle down and just really try to learn the position. Because like even though I'm young there, I've been playing there every day now, and it's just a constant build up, and that's where I want to play. Either third or first base, and he's a perfect guy to learn from.
Well, it's not like I have much experience in knowing any of this, but from my opinion, it appears as if you got the right work ethic and you got a good head on your shoulders to where, with your abilities and your approach to it, it seems like only good things can come to you. So I'm rooting for the best for you. Before we go, any messages for your loved ones at home?
Yeah, I'd like to say hi to my mom and dad and my brother Cameron. Just saying what's up, guys, and hope the best. See you soon.
All right, well, thank you very much. Here's to a good season the rest of the way, and hopefully we make the playoffs.
Alrighty,
All right,
thank you.
Stopping by.
Appreciate it.
That's pretty good, I'd have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're actually lucky because your interview, you'll be able to actually hear what you're saying, versus the one that we've done outside. You have like Freebird solo blasting in the back.